The Living Laboratories Initiative is a new approach to agricultural innovation in Canada. It brings together farmers, scientists, and others to co-develop and test innovative farming practices to address agri-environmental issues. Greg Vermeersch worked with the innovative farmers of Ontario and trialed double-cropped versus relay 30-inch beans planted between twin-row barley. Here's a 2021 recap. We met up with Greg, hi Greg, in the last days of April as he started his planting season and put the 8 acres of beans in early. The barley had been planted mid to late October and was noticeably shorter than his other barley fields. We followed up in mid-June. Greg, how's it growing?
The beans really just came up nicely the last week or so because cold temperatures here and being that deep, they just didn't quite emerge properly. But now they seem to be coming up at 100,000 population, and I think we did a replication at 120. The barley, the twin rows, they're all the same rate and fertility all the way across. I think the barley, I was wishing it would have got a little taller just for logistics of combining it, but you know, again, that's part of the mechanics of putting the beans down lower, so they come out a little later to try to get them not so growthy before the barley's harvested. Planting that early in this soil, we probably had a little bit too much downforce in the planter, so there might be some compaction on the beans in the trench, and that's probably why they're just breaking through that trench with our last rains. It was very dry here in May. I think we've only had ½ inch to the end of May, so yeah, things are coming along nicely, so we just have to wait and see how things go.
But the next week, on June 17, the plot got a frost that hit the low spots hard. In the middle of July, after 2 weeks of rain, Greg pulled the combine into the field, at the same time that soybeans were planted on the other 8 acres beside the plot. The twin rows of barley ran 4 bushels less than the solid seeded. And if you're wondering how we did the harvest, the cutter bar was capped with some field tile to protect the beans. But here are some lessons from the cap.
You can't see the tile that we have, probably due to the short cropping barley. I can see why guys use wheat, but I guess in this case we were hoping that we'd have the barley off 2 weeks ago, which if it didn't rain, we probably would have. So that's one of the challenges. I definitely think the twin rows with the beans between is better now mechanically for harvest. I still think if we went back to what we tried last year with the hybrid rye, typically not lodging and growing, 5 feet high, you likely wouldn't even need the tiles on the knife. Last year we didn't have good success with the hybrid rye and 30-inch beans, the hybrid rye being solid seeded. So, but I think if it was this case here, the hybrid rye may be a better application of 30-inch beans. And also that the beans have to be a lot more precise between the twin rows, because as soon as we're off, you can see we do push over a little bit of our cereals. So, it's really important to get that dead square in the middle of your twin rows. So that's what I've learned in the last 5 minutes.
After a long wet fall, Greg pulled in with the combine for the second time in 2021 and got the beans off.
And the 30-inch rows really branched out, but I think they couldn't overcome the frost. Is really a lot of what we're seeing. The double crop actually did better than I thought it would have from looking at the fields earlier. So yeah, 42 for the double crop. So that was surprisingly well. I don't think we're going to get a summer like that with that much rain again, though. So Mother Nature was kind on the sand for that kind of yield. But we had a nice killing frost about a week ago, so the double crop soybeans just helped finish them off. I'm going to say there's probably about a point or two difference in moisture from the relays versus the doubles. So nothing really matters at this time.
In the end, the relays ran just a few bushels less than the doubles, but a lot of that loss was from the frost. But let's try again next year. follow along at ifao.com.